Hello, my name is Omar Abisad. It's Sunday, July 8, 2018 at 7:36 p.m. in Toronto. So I tweeted a few tweets today and yesterday. Those were all mine. Um, my account is hacked, but I track it really closely and I know what's mine and what's not. So if there is one that's not mine, I delete it. So um, I'm talking on a continuous basis about being a target. So I just to update you about what's going on right now today. There are meetings in the building about me, and there's a team that's tracking me in the building because I'm flagged for the umpteenth time for I'm not quite sure what. So I just went out to catch some sun because it's a really nice day and to get my vitamin D in. And I did a little bit of groceries. So I came in, and as soon as I stepped out the elevator and turned the corner to get into my unit, this huge brown skin man stepped out of the unit exactly as I walked past the door. And he said in Hindi, this is a Hindi word that says go, that means go. He says chalo. And of course, I ignored him and I walked past him. A little bit scary looking guy. Um, anyway, so this has happened so many times. It's not the meeting the person in the corridor; it's the timing. It's the exact timing. I step out of my door, somebody will step out of theirs and follow me to the elevator. I step out of the elevator, somebody will. Uh, I step out of my door, somebody will step out of the elevator and pass me in the corridor, over and over and over again. And these are the people who are also saying that I'm a target, and they're telling me outright that we are keeping an eye on you. The kids are going to tell me as I pass by, we are looking at you. We're tracking you. They're just telling you outright you're being tracked. So I am being tracked. I'm being gang tracked. But the interesting part of this, the more interesting part of um, this is just an indication of being trafficked, and I'm saying that because I'm suspecting what's actually going on here is there's a password and a link to my home and to look at me inside my home and to hit me with directed entry weapons like lasers and so on. And People put themselves in places where they can make contact with me or pass me or be in my immediate environment. And then they would report to this team or to the cops that I was trying to make contact with them. I was trying to make contact with them when just the opposite is true. They are actually trying to make contact with me because what's going on here is they've they're working with someone who's working with the cops because the cops flagged me based on a report that they got to create a file about me to report back to the team and to the cops eventually. So they have to make contact or they have to be around me to do this, to say that, well, I was there and I saw or I heard. Some of them try to make contact with me and then they'll report that I tried to solicit them. I was too friendly, whatever. I looked crazy, I looked insane, acting weird. All this stuff is being reported about me. And whoever is taking these reports are actually flagging me based on these lies, knowing that I'm a target and knowing that I'm being lied upon, but I'm being flagged anyways. So what I'm suspecting is actually going on another level beyond that is these neighbors around, some of them are immediately around my unit and some of them are not. They have this password and this link that I said that I referred to before and they give samples. So the password and the link allows them to look at me inside my home and gerbil me. And this means customizing me for the people they're giving samples to and who decides to buy the password and the link to gerbil. So the gerbling is customization. So what they're doing by gerbling is stimulate your genital organs and to discipline you, hit your eyes, your breasts, whatever, to train you and customize you to the person they sell the password to. So the people who are timing me in and out, strangers, I've never seen this man before. He's a stranger, and I'm assuming he's Muslim because the unit is occupied by Muslim people. Um, People like this given samples and they decide to buy or sell. Now, strange people are going to appear in your life after this. These are the people who buy. You go in the grocery store, it's a predominantly Chinese grocery store. Once in a while, you'll see a non-Chinese person in there. But if you see a lot of black people falling, not falling you, but talking really loudly, making a ruckus, um, making a scene, uh, then and trying to get attention, then this is a good indication of them being stalkers, perpetrators, because they're trying to get your attention, basically. So they will come around you. Today I was at a Chinese grocery store, and a Caucasian old male appeared right behind me in the cash. He was around me, but as soon as I started cashing, he came right after me. These are people I'm suspecting, strongly suspecting, getting the passwords and getting samples, and probably bought, and are trying to access me at night as I sleep to gerbil voyeurism, masturbation. These are all rings out there. I suspect my sister-in-law did exactly that as well. I think she had a contract on me to surveil. She was working with the Black Creek Division close to her house. There is a name, a Detective Singh, that keeps popping up that she was probably working with, and she was getting his support. She was calling the cops on me while I was living there without telling me and not well, telling me why. She saw me masturbating, I suspect, and decided I was a prostitute and never talked to me about it. This is a family member, supposedly. She's supposed to have been a sister in law. And she never talked to me about it, but she called the cops about it because she had this file that started in this building that had policemen saying they had a lineup of people that identified me as a prostitute. The superintendent is saying that he thinks I'm a prostitute, and all kinds of people ID me as a prostitute. So she had this file and she saw me masturbating. I was utterly and completely convinced that I was. And because I was being monitored in this building and under the monitoring traffic, she did the same thing. She did exactly the same thing. She started passing me around to everybody she knew, including family members. So anybody who has the contract is doing exactly the same thing. So this is trafficking. I'm being trafficked this way, out and out trafficked. Anybody who has a contract gives samples and then they get clients. It happens in the workplace as well. I'm strongly suspecting this happened at Three of Us as well. This is where this whole thing started publicly. I'm suspecting it happened privately for a long time, but it went public at Three of Us, where my sister-in-law had the contract and was working with people at Three of Us. She was a source to the team at Three of Us who was surveilling me illegally and stalking me. In order to surveil, you have to stalk, basically. It was never disclosed. This has never been disclosed by anyone, the Toronto police, the family, people in the workplace, people in this building, management. No one has disclosed that I've been flagged. Or I heard I've been put in the newspaper, and notifications have been put in the newspaper about this. None of that has been disclosed to me. Again, I've been repeatedly asking the Toronto police for support. The last time I did, I got charged for supposedly stalking the perpetrators who were stalking me on behalf of Surmat and Khalid at the time. I'm strongly suspecting that the two Muslim women with their faces covered had their names on my account and was probably getting samples. Because what they said to me was, get out of the grocery store and go to the gym. In other words, you're too fat. Why would it be two complete strangers, Sharia women who I would have absolutely, absolutely, absolutely nothing to do with? Um, I'm scared of them basically because of the belief system. It's so much against women, women and men. I would have absolutely nothing to do with them. Why would they tell me to go get out the grocery store and go to the gym? Well, obviously, because they're looking at me, I'm suspecting, share, and they don't like what they see. They bought, in other words, somebody sold me to them. They were buying sex slaves in Toronto. I think this is exactly what happened, and this is why I was charged to cover this whole thing up, because some of the dirty cops are involved in this. This has to be dealt with. There's a sex slave operation that's operating in Toronto. It is in the workplace as well, and it should be exposed, number one. And the people who are running it should be charged. And the dirty cops who are involved should also be charged. Talk to you another time.